Hello language learners, it's Maddie here again from English with Maddie. And today I am back to share another reading practice video with you. This week on reading practice number 3, we are going to be talking about the Olympics. So when we talk about the Olympics, obviously in this year, 2020, the Olympics were supposed to be happening in Tokyo, Japan, and they have been pushed because of the coronavirus, but I still want to talk about them because I think it is a great and exciting topic. So this week I will be reading from the advanced version of the text. As you can see, it is almost 2 pages long, and if you click the link below in the description box on my YouTube channel, you will go to my website where I have the advanced version of the text along with, if you remember, the listening practice that you can use while you watch this video. And I also have some study guides as well as other levels. You will find an absolute beginner level, and intermediate level, as well as the advanced. So no matter where you are on your language learning journey, you will be able to find a text, an article to help you practice your English. So I'm going to give this a read. I'm going to try to speak about at my natural pace for this article. If it is feeling too challenging, too hard, please go find another level of the article or keep listening to help you practice a native speaker. This is about a native level English. So I hope it is a good challenge for you, but not too hard. So let's get started. A family in Munich sits side by side on the floor before their television in the early evening, while across the world in Osaka, a group of strangers clusters near the screen in a local bar as the clock strikes midnight. And in Chicago, a few students ditch class to catch the live coverage on their phones. The Olympic Games have an inexplicable way of enthralling just about every kind of person in just about every place on Earth. Events like this, which truly cross borders, continents, and time zones, events that bring together both individual countries and the world as a whole, are difficult to come by even in today's modern society. Ignoring the 1500-year-odd gap, the Olympics have been around for 3,000 years. In the beginning, the Games were exclusively for men from Greek city-states and were held in Olympia, Greece. For more than a millennium, these highly valued games continued on even through the 85 BC invasion of the Romans and up until the Germanic invasion around 300 AD. The games in their origin were part of a festival honoring Zeus, the Greek god, and as time wore on, they shifted into being a part of a pagan festival, and thus needed to be stopped as the state fell under Christian authority. Centuries later, an International Olympic Committee was formed in 1894, and the first modern games began in 1896. These games were identical to neither the games in ancient Greece nor the games we are familiar with today, which is largely due to the ability to change and adapt with the times. These changes have been met with varying degrees of success, as some events are held for the blink of an eye. For example, the so-called bloody disaster of live pigeon shooting in the Paris 1900 Olympic Games, club swinging in the 1904 Games, and solo synchronized swimming that was around for a whopping 3 games beginning in 1984. Today, the games are adapted based on 3 central principles: urbanization, nationalism, and the engagement of youth. With careful consideration and supervision from the IOC, countries that have won bids to host future Olympic Games can add new provisional sports to their Olympic program. With the previous stated principles in mind, Japan proposed the addition of 5 new sports, including karate and sport climbing. Karate, a traditional Japanese sport originating in Okinawa during the Ryukyu dynasty, is clearly an addition to draw attention and pride from Japanese citizens, and to add to the legacy of the Tokyo Games. Being a provisional game and with its strong ties to Japan, it is likely to be a one-time sport and never to be seen again in the Olympic Games. However, the addition of sport climbing is inspired by recent trends in youth culture around the world and is expected to become at least semi-permanent, as France has already agreed to continue sport climbing in the 2024 Paris Olympics. Due to the need for committees, countries, cities, and athletes to prepare for Olympic Games, proposals and decisions need to be made well in advance of any of the games taking place. Because of this level of preparation, we already know many of the future additions and changes to the 2024 Summer Games in Paris, France. One of the more noteworthy topics regarding the next Summer Olympics is the addition of breakdancing. Though many were skeptical that breakdancing would make the cut when the proposal was made, this incredibly athletic activity reflects the youth-centric and urban ideas that the IOC is striving to uphold. Whether or not these additions make a difference in viewership and participation remain to be seen. Even today, with traditional events and the constant additions of programs, there seem to be a core of popular and widely publicized sports, with more than a handful of others falling into downright niche categories that fall between the cracks. For example, when considering the Summer Olympic Games, gymnastics, swimming, and track and field are all known and commonly viewed. But did you know that walk racing isn't only an Olympic sport, but that it has been an Olympic sport since 1904? I certainly did not. So what will the Olympic Games look like in the future? A return to the nude tradition of the past? A focus on the well-liked sports while letting the periphery sports dwindle away? A complete overhaul to focus on athletics like sport climbing and breakdancing? It is hard to know exactly how the Olympics, with their 3,000-year-old tradition, might evolve in the future, but however they change and adapt to the times, it is certain they will continue entertaining the world. So that is it for the advanced version of our Olympics reading practice. As I mentioned, I was reading aloud at about my normal pace. If that seemed challenging, it is okay. I expect that it will be. I want this to be something that you can study from and use to learn more. Of course, you can also use the study guide with its vocabulary questions, a vocabulary list, and comprehension questions. And you can use the listening practice to follow along and fill in the blanks while you watch and listen to this video again. And if it seemed after all of that still too hard, please check out one of the other levels of text, the intermediate or beginner versions, to see how much more you can comprehend. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching and learning with me on English with Maddie. I hope you enjoyed this article and this topic. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. And until next time, happy studying.